Hey guys, it's Sharon. I'm going to try and paint on camera. I am getting ready to do a mottling layer on Sandy, and I'm going to actually use this flesh color that was left over in my Pyrex dish. So I don't want to waste anything, and I'm looking for my craft sticks. They're here somewhere. Here they are, because I know I'm going to be getting into more than one jar and I don't want to contaminate my paints. So here is my craft stick. And I like to start out with plenty of mixture so that I don't run out. I'm using my odorless thinner. Try not to get it on your hands because it's toxic stuff. Yes, it is. It's toxic. No matter what they tell you, it is toxic. And you're going to be hearing my bird. He's wanting to be up here. My husband's typing, so if you hear a typing noise, that's my husband and my bird. So I'm going to start with the lip nail blush, which is one of my favorite colors. Yeah, so I'm going to take a little bit with my craft stick, which is just a wooden stick, and I'm going to smush it into this Flesh 08 and odorless thinner mixture, and you see we're getting a beautiful cherry color, which is a beautiful color. I love this color. And actually, let's get a little bit more. Actually, I can take the cap and just get my brush into the cap like so to get the excess paint out of the cap, and use that. Use every little bit. Sorry about my bird. I should have brought him up. I already have a sponge here that I had plucked holes out of. And looking for my tweezer. It's here somewhere. It's here somewhere. My pink tweezer. Because I want to take a little bit more off. And I don't see it. I don't see my pink tweezer. So we'll do without it. I can pluck it with my fingernail. So there we go. It was a little bit of a sharp edge there that I did not like, so you're going to get to see my beautiful hands. Not. Alright, so we're starting with a mottling layer. So I'm going to just brush some of this mixture on the sponge, like so. I start with the arms. I have already baked her. Yeah. So we'll start with the hands. I hope you can see. And it's very thin. It might be a little too thin, but thinner's better than too thick. I'm just going to load up my brush again. Put some more on here. And continue the whole arm. The hairs off. I don't know where all this lint comes from, folks. But so this is a little bit thinner than I would recommend, but it's okay because you can always go over it. It's not bad. It's not a bad thing. It's just not going to show up as well, but it's going to be nice and even. So I hope you can see the effect this is having on the vinyl. So I'm just getting I want it to look very even, the mottling. In other words, every single area of the arm has a pattern on it. There's no missing spaces. so that it looks like real mottling. It's very thin, very, very, very thin, this color. I'm off camera right now, I realize, but I'm getting used to this workspace, which is not easy for me right now because this light is in the way. Okay. So that's all I'm doing. Just getting every square inch of this arm. And while I'm at it, since I'm here, I'm going to put some of it on the hand, because you're going to need so many layers, folks, in order to get color to stay. So I like to have my baby's hands very pink. So I'm just going to add some pink while I have this pink available. That's how I do it. Build up layers. So I'm going to not waste anything. And I'm going to do the same thing with the front of the hand. I'm going to put some pink on it, even the nail, because I like my babies to have pink hands. Just the hand, that's all I'm doing. Just the hand, the whole hand. Then I'm going over it with pouncing it with the wedge to make sure that I get a nice even skin texture. And then I'm going to get my smudge brush to get the excess out of the creases. And air dry, I find that the paint does not pool in the creases as much as with Genesis, which is one of the pluses for air dry paints. It doesn't pool as much in the creases. But mottling is better with Genesis than with air dry, because the very nature of water-based paint is that it will swell the sponge up and the holes will disappear, so it won't be worth anything after you use it once. So, okay, that's the arm. I'm going to add another little light layer here since I have the sponge wet. It'll show up ever so slightly, and then the next layer that I put on, I will use more pigment. But this is good. This is a very good start here. Don't be afraid to start light and go dark. If you start dark, you can't go light easily. So starting light is much better. Okay, that arm I'm going to say is done. All right, here we go. Arm number 2. These are, I'm just going to do the 2 arms on camera because it's not very interesting to watch, but I want you guys to realize that I have every means of, every desire to share my painting with you guys on camera. Even though it makes it a little more difficult, for me, this is what I would like to do. I love to share. I love to share my babies, my life. I love to share my painting and my art. I love to share with people. So this is a wonderful fit for me. And I hope you guys get something out of it. So I'm just making an even coat of very, very light mottling on the arm. She already has 2 coats of neutralizing mint green and 1 coat of Flesh 08 on her, and it was baked with those 3 layers. So now I'm going to go ahead and pink up her hand like I did the other one with the brush, starting with the underside of her hand. Just pounce it in real good, get a nice texture on there, and turn it over and do the same thing on the other part of the hand. And this will barely show up. It's what takes the time for reborning a doll is that it requires multiple layers of paint, because you want to build up and get a translucent look rather than have it look pasty and look like paint. You have to spend the time and do very, very thin layers. That's how you do it, folks. It takes a lot of patience. Yes, it does. If you're not a patient person, you probably will not enjoy reborning. If you're not a detail-oriented person, you probably will not enjoy reborning, but you can certainly learn anyway, so that if you do purchase a doll, you might learn how to fix it if you need to fix the doll one of these days. I have done that when I bought a doll and didn't exactly like it. I could fix little things about it. So there's something here for everyone. And if you miss some pooled paint, it's not a big deal, because the beauty of Genesis heat set paints is that they do not set until they are heated. So you have time. You have time before they become permanent. And I'm going over this again with another layer of the mottling, just like I did the other arm, because I want them to look the same. I want both arms to be even. And this kit, in case you don't remember, this is Sandy by Sheila Michael. She has a lower anatomically correct torso. The first one I'm ever doing. So that's it for now, folks. That's all I'm going to do on camera. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've seen most of it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch up with you soon. Love you guys. Bye.